Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 6:01 p.m. This is the City of El Centro Council meeting for Tuesday, January the 16th. And I would like for Madam Clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Carter?
Present.
Councilmember Cardenas-Singh?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Present.
Councilmember Oliva, excused, absent. Mayor Marroquin?
Present. All righty. And Mayor Pro Tem Edgar Garcia will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. At this moment, I would like to ask for a moment of silence for the 4 youth that lost their lives in the tragic accident that happened in Raleigh last week. So please bow your heads. And now Ms. Sonia Carter will lead us in an invocation.
Please bow your head. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you just simply saying thank you. Thank you for all that you've done. And we want you to bless the families in Brawley. We're asking for you just to go high and low. We're asking for you to bless the friends, bless just the brothers and the sisters, the nieces and the nephews, the cousins. Go low, Lord. The parents need blessings, they need help, but I have the honor of seeing some of the kids, and the kids are hurting tremendously, Lord. So we're asking for you just to comfort the hearts. Just comfort the hearts of the community, Lord. We're asking for you just to go throughout every single last one of these cities in the Imperial Valley and put your hand on them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Madam City Attorney, would you please report out on closed session?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no reportable action from today's brief closed session.
And okay. Where is my? And at this time, we will then go into public comments. This is a public meeting. If there is an item on the agenda on which you wish to be heard, you are asked to complete a blue speaker slip and submit it to the city clerk prior to the start of the meeting. Persons wishing to address the council are not required to identify themselves. However, this information assists the mayor by ensuring that all persons wishing to address the council are recognized and also assists the city clerk in preparing the city council meeting minutes. When the item is announced and your name is called by the mayor, please step to the podium and state your name for the record. Unless the mayor extends the time, there is a 3-minute time limit for each public presentation. If you wish to address the council concerning any other matter not appearing on the agenda, you may do so during the public comment portion of the agenda. However, you may not show a visual presentation without review of that material. If you do so, you will be considered out of order. And we do have one speaker slip, Mr. Jose Cosio. Yes, would you like to come up to the podium, please?
Would it be appropriate for me to pass the picture around?
Is that?
I'll get to that in my discourse. Good evening. I'm Jose Cosio, better known as Joe. I live at 434 Smoke Tree Drive, behind 7-Eleven on South 4th. And I'm aware that, well, especially thanks to CRLA, We have our state and city abounds with people with diminished capacity and drug addicts. My problem is that I have grandchildren, a 10-year-old and a 3-year-old. They can't enjoy a front yard because of the homeless, the addicts that hang around 7-Eleven. And we've seen them having actually sexual activities around their dumper. And I've seen them using heroin. And at one time, there was one of them between checking a box in 7-Eleven, urinating. And when I told him that was against the law, he had a stick and he started coming to me. But I had a bat there by a softball equipment handily, so I took out a bat and I told him, you better not come in my property with that stick. So when the officer showed up, I told him that he was urinating. And I quoted the DC section since I'm a retired law enforcement, and that he was challenging the fight. So, and then I seen one of the homeless using heroin. So I called the police, and the officer that showed up told me, oh, he says he's diabetic. So I told him, you effing rookie. I said, I work narcotics, sheriff's office. And since I was 12 years old, I lived by families that had, one of them had 20 children, 18 were drug addicts. And then to the south, 3, and to the northwest, a family with 7 drug addicts. So I know what addiction is, and then working is in narcotics. So, and then right after Christmas last year, there was 3 homeless painting brand new bikes. I called the police department, and they told me, hey, everybody has a right to paint their bikes. I said, I'm sure you had reports of stolen bikes in Christmas. And they didn't show up. Then the 7-Eleven, they go in a dump, and 2 or 3 times a week, as you can see in the picture, I have to go pick up trash. Sometimes they even sit in that little ridge, and they relieve themselves on our side of the fence. Then sometimes at night, especially Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they hang out between either there by the dumper or between the 7-Eleven building or the Payless building. And they just loud. My grandson sometimes has to get up and go to work at 6. Then we also have a 7-month-old baby, besides the other 2 that I mentioned. And it's kind of hard to sleep. So one time I called the police department, so the lady's asking me, one of the few times that I've called, she's asking me, are they under the influence? Are they armed? I said, I'm inside the house. I can't tell you that they're 647F penal code or if they're violation of a 11550 health and safety code, but they are making a lot of noise. So eventually they come by, and after a while they leave. So maybe it'd be better if the units, instead of parking over on the Starkfield parking lot, if they go park between 7-Eleven and the Payless building, it kind of help us out some. But that's an ongoing problem. And I was there before there was a 7-Eleven. So, we call the police, and sometimes, one time my grandson got off work and he looked over at them and he says, hey, the police told us that you're the nuisance because you keep calling. I mean, we pay taxes. We've been there, like I said, since before there was a 7-Eleven. And like I said, I know we have a problem with the homeless and drug addicts, but on ours, where we're at, it's just, like I said, my grandkids can enjoy the front lawn because of what these people, one time there was a lady out there, how will I call her lady? She had a bucket. Only thing she was wearing was her panties and shower or bathing with some, I don't know where she got the water. But, you know, we have these stuff like that. One time I went out and my grandson was following, and before I got to my car, some guy threw a slushy at me. He missed, but my grandson jumped that little ridge there and started beating him up, and I pulled my grandson up off of him. And I mean, like I said, this is an ongoing problem. Sometimes they tell me that, according to them, 7-Eleven accommodates them by giving them beer to clean up, but they rubbish through the dump and eventually gets over to our property. So, like I said, it's an ongoing problem that we have at least once a week. And the trash I pick up, maybe sometimes 2-3 times a week. As you can see, there's quite a bit of trash.
Well, thank you, Mr. Cosio. We appreciate your comments, and we do take those into consideration. Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I may. So actually, I communicated with Chief Sawyer while Mr. Cosio was sharing the information. So Commander McNish is standing behind in the back. He's going to be speaking with Mr. Cosio to gather additional information, and we can get the Community Relations Unit to help him out with the
Yes.
situation.
Mr. Cosio, Commander McNish is right back here. If you'd like to step over to the back and speak to him, be more than happy to. Alrighty. Okay, Madam City Clerk, do we have any speakers online?
No, none, Mayor.
No, okay, alrighty, thank you. Okay, so now we move on to the consent agenda. Colleagues, we have a motion. Consent agenda, we have, the mover was Councilmember Cardenas Singh, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Edgar Garcia. Please vote. And so those items pass, 4 present and 1 absent. So now we move on to item number 7 on the agenda, and we do have a public hearing for that. So if anyone, okay, this is a public hearing to consider the purpose of considering approval of the statement of costs and recording of lien related to nuisance abatement at 695 Aurora Drive. Our presentation is by Mr. Angel Hernandez, Community Development Director, and he will now, I will now open the public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item, either in chambers or remotely?
None, Mayor.
None?
Not remotely, no.
So since we have no requests for speakers, then this public hearing is now closed, and I will bring this back to City Council. Any comments from my colleagues on the council?
I'm gonna wait for Angel to present.
Yeah.
Mr. Hernandez, thank you.
Hi, hello, Madam Mayor, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the council. The item before you is regarding 695 Aurora Drive. This has been an ongoing code enforcement issue since about 2015. At that time, the previous property owner passed away, and since then the house has been vacant, and there's been some type of argument over the ownership of the house that has resulted in a lot of code enforcement violations to produce itself. Some things that have been noticed by our staff are overgrown vegetation, trash and debris, unsecured property. And what this has resulted in is persons trespassing onto the property. A lot of times, you can see like the bottom right photo, you see that large tree that kind of allows people to hide and kind of sneak into the back. Also, even though the front windows, you can kind of see there's these like steel iron grates over them. The back windows don't have that. So you've had people kind of go through the backyard and enter the household that way. Another thing that's come up is that this happened last year during a windstorm. Is the rear of the property, there was a wooden fence, but that got knocked down due to the wind, and there it's immediately adjacent to a school. You kind of see in the back of on the upper right hand photo. Overall, this is kind of has contributed to the blighting of this neighborhood. Specifically this property, it really sticks out like a sore thumb. And this isn't the first time this item has been brought before the city council. In February 2021, the city went ahead and we did some nuisance abatement consisting of trimming down the trees and boarding up some of the windows. And that was brought to the city council the following month in March so that we could record a notice of lien so we could recover those costs. But since then, the conditions of the house, of the property just remain bad. So last month on December 8th, the city code enforcement staff, along with a contractor that we hired for these, went and did nuisance abatement. So what that means is the city, what happened was the contractor cut down the trees in the front, cleared all the trash and debris. They installed a new chain link fence on the back of the property to separate the school grounds from the property, and they also boarded up the windows in the back, which don't have the iron grates that you see in the front. There is a mechanism for the city to recover these costs. There was the estimate that was about $88,980 of cost a result of this payment, and that's not only the cost to the contractor, but like the staff time for city staff as well. So what the city staff would like to do is to record the lien on the property, and there is a process to notify the public and the property owners. So we did publish a notice in the newspaper that was published twice in the last 10 days on January 5th and January 12th. We also posted the property. You can see some of the postings on the garage door in the photo, and code enforcement staff has also been contacting some of the what we think are the property owners, letting them know what's happening. So here's some before and after photos. The trees were cut down, and the area was removed any trash or debris. So some next steps. Today we do have the public hearing to allow staff to go ahead and record the notice. In the next couple of days, we'll take that notice to the county. The code enforcement staff has been working with the county tax collector actually, because pretty soon on February 9th, this property is going to go to property tax default. So hopefully at that time, someone purchases the property and amends some of the conditions and has like a family living in there. But what that means is that if it does get sold in the auction, then the city would recover the cost of the lien rather quickly. So staff is requesting that after the public hearing that the city council consider the resolution before them, allowing the city to go ahead and record the lien. I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
Just, Angel, I'm just wondering, because of the backside of the fence that it actually is adjacent to a school, has there been any issues, or is there any threat to any type of activity or anything going on there in the back? Do you know if we received anything?
Yes, I know last year the school district did contact the code enforcement staff regarding it. They put up a temporary fence, but
Yeah.
Kind of push it away. But now with the new chain link fence, it should prevent access to the kids. But for a time, I don't know how free the kids are, but they could theoretically walk into the property.
Right, and I think that was my concern, right? Of course, the student safety
Yes.
and making sure that we're working with the school district, but just making sure that we don't put any children at risk or in danger.
Yes. So now there's a chain link fence separating
Okay.
the schoolyard from the property.
Thank you. That's it for my question, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Councilmember Carter, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I do not. I've seen the property, so it looks nice now. Yes.
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, any questions or comments? None. No, I was just, Mr. Hernandez, I know that this property has been an issue for quite some time. I recall passing by there at least 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And, and I went specifically by there to see, what the issue was with that property. And most recently, I was by there before the tree was cut down. And I know that, because this has been an ongoing issue and it's so close to the proximity of the school, I'm just wondering if any of the other neighbors, are just,
Mhm.
right to the, in that proximity have complained about this or?
Yes, of course. I know the
Yes.
code enforcement staff has been in contact with the one of the adjacent property owners, and
Mhm.
they know each other now, just due to like the conditions of their property.
So we're gonna have to take quick action on this one, right? Yes.
Yes, so hopefully
Mhm.
on February 9th, February 9th, it goes out to auction for property taxes, and someone buys it and they actually picks up the property. Structurally, the house is great. It just
Mhm.
needs to have someone to live in, take care of it.
Mr. Hernandez, can you just show us the timeline again, please? Just so
Yes.
I could take a look at it again really quickly. Okay. All right.
Alrighty. So any further questions, comments? No? Alrighty. So at this time, may I have a motion to adopt resolution number 24-02? Alrighty. So that resolution is adopted, 4 yeses with 1 absence. And this is the resolution of the City Council of the City of El Centro, California, approving the statement of costs for summary nuisance abatement for 695 Aurora Drive and approving the recording of a notice of lien, collection thereon, and related actions pursuant to Chapter 18 of the City Code. All right, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Okay. And now we move on to new business. Item number 8 on the agenda, presentation by Mr. Abraham Campos, Public Works Director.
Hi, good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. Pleasure to be here with you today. I have the following 3 items for you. So the first one is here an approval of a change order request for the emergency work that occurred on Pearl Avenue and Via Ave in the city of Central. Just for a little bit of background, as you may recall, we had almost a sinkhole develop at this location, which created quite a bit of traffic and the closure of Via Avenue for some time. If you drive through the area on State Route 86 going north or south, you see a little bump on State Route 86. That's a trench line that we did to install a bypass. The bypass was used for sewer, facilitate the construction of the project, and our intent was to keep that bypass there for future maintenance or operations of the facility. However, Caltrans has denied our request to leave that bypass line in place, although we built it per standards. And so the cost to remove it and bring the road back to the condition without the pipe is $213,400. And this is a change order cost request that I'm asking that we approve to this existing contract, to pyramid contract construction, which is the contract that we added this emergency work. So the request here is to approve a budget increase on the wastewater enterprise fund of $213,400. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions from colleagues?
Mr. Campos, was this sinkhole the one that was caused with the storm that we had, or is this independent?
It's with a storm, and we have a process where we're working with the state agencies to see if we can recuperate the cost. So there's that potential that, should that be approved, that up to 75% of it would be reimbursed.
Yeah, that was my question. Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate the clarity.
Councilmember Carter, any questions or comments?
Oh, no, not at this time.
Right, colleagues. So now we, so that motion was made by, I didn't see the, I'm so sorry, but you know what, the motion was carried out by Councilmember Cardenas Singh and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. That was approved and adopted with one absence. All right. Okay, Mr. Campos, item number 9.
All right, so continuing the theme of asking for money.
The million
Yes,
dollar
the
man.
million dollar man.
Million dollar man.
I-
We just started the year, Mr. Campos.
First meeting, right? First meeting. So this item, item number 9, is in a project that we're actually sitting in right now. So hopefully we're enjoying that. It's very quiet in here. We don't have the fans from the HVAC making that noise that we used to hear. So this is on the City Hall HVAC energy efficiency project. So the project is, let's call it 2/3 complete. This project, for background, was almost an emergency project. We handled it for energy efficiency contract mechanism. And the intent is to get rid of the machine that's outside in the parking lot, taking up space right now and keeping us cool or warm. The project replaced the existing system with something that's much more up to speed. The state of the art right now. We'll be able to control temperature with an app. City manager has requested access to that app. I'm working on that so that we can control temperature and play with temperature. But as we moved along, 2 things came up that have asked us, that have forced me here to come and ask for additional funding to complete this project. The first item is that the contract assumed, or the design assumed, that we can salvage some conduits that power from the IAD pole to the main electrical switchgear, the panel that feeds the city of El Centro. Those conduits, when the contractor went in and trying to pull the wire, the conduits are collapsed, they're in no shape, and we cannot replace the wires in the existing conduit. So we have to open up a little piece of the parking lot, trench it, install new conduit, and while we're doing that, we're adding what's called an electrical transfer switch. That transfer switch is a box where, in case of an emergency, we can haul in a generator and power up the city. Right now, if power goes down, we're out without servers, basically. We do quick internet, ability to pay online for your bills and so forth. So while we have this work going on, we're adding transfer switch to the via prolonged emergency. We could quickly bring in a generator, and we're even exploring for future projects a permanent emergency generator. If the power flickers or whatever, we would be able to do that. That's not covered in this project, but something to look forward in the future. And this transfer switch location would facilitate that work in the future. That in itself, that additional cost for ID work for items is $112,000. So it's something. So that in itself added that much. The other item number 2, is a utility cost. When IAD came back and looked at our application, they said that because we used to have one single system before, it was a control load, but now we have multiple ACs for redundancy, which really is what we wanted. They have the potential that, although there's an energy savings on this, should there be a power outage in the middle of summer and all of the AC units power up at the exact same moment, which is likely, there's going to be a surge in power. And because of that, the IAD needs to update their existing electrical system, and that comes in at a cost of $52,000. So between both of them, we blew our contingency. So that's why I'm here. Measure P, as you know, and I've been a strong advocate, is tight for fiscal year 24. We have very limited funding. So we looked at what was available, and what I'm proposing is doing a budget amendment to save cost on another project that we're not going to be able, because of other commitments, we're not being able to deliver between now and June, or not as much as program or budgeted. And that's a Valley Center demolition project. So although that's still in construction, we won't be able to start the actual construction in this fiscal year, so that savings on those costs can be moved to this project to help finish the project we have active right now, which is this HVAC. So the request here again, just to summarize all of that, is to transfer money or basically remove money from the Valley Center Point to add $160,000 to complete this project here in the HVAC. Any questions? I'm happy to answer.
Colleagues, any questions? So, Mr. Campos, when you brought up the Valley Center project, the demolition, so when do you anticipate that that will start?
The consultant is working on the plans. They've been on it a little while. They're the same consultant that's working on this HVAC project.
I see.
They're committed.
Mhm.
So we expect that final design to be done probably in the next 60 days for the demolition. By the time we go to construction and out to bid and so forth, we at
Mhm.
least middle of summer, which kicks that into the
If it
next
kicks
fiscal
into the
year.
next fiscal year, yes, okay, all righty. Okey dokey, okay, so this motion was moved by Mayor Pro Tem Edgar Garcia, seconded by Councilmember Cardenas Singh. Please vote. And that is adopted 4-1 absence. And so, Mr. Campos, will you be asking for more money in the next one?
Well, this one's for bringing money, so.
It feels like
So
there's a
item number
special
10.
theme. There's a
Okay.
theme to this evening, Madam
Yes,
Mayor.
yes, I
So-
gather that,
So the next, so item number 10, thank you for that, is it's a resurfacing of a street. And it's a collaboration and partnership really in coordination with the County of Imperial. The proposed resurfacing is East Main Street. The City of Centro will be doing from Dogwood Avenue to Cooley Road.
Okay,
And then the County of Imperial will be doing from Cooley Road to 111. So between both agencies on East Main between Dogwood all the way to 111 will be resurfaced, which it needs.
Desperately.
Yes.
yes,
So we were able to obtain STIP funds, which is a grant, as well as SB1 RMRA, which is part of the gas tax. Between both of those, they come up with a majority of the funding. So it's not affecting really in a big way our LTA funding. Out of LTA, we're only asking for $275, $840. We put this project out to bid. We got very favorable bids, which were lined up with our engineer's estimate. We had 3 bids one from Vance, one from Rove, and one from Hazard. They're very tight together, so it means that it's a good bid. That's an indicator for us that it's a good bid when the numbers are very close to each other. In this case, we checked on Vance Corporation. We really haven't worked with them
I was
here in
gonna
our area.
say,
They're a new contractor. They're usually more in the Riverside, Irvine. The closest one that they have here is in Bombay Beach with Imperial County. We checked with Imperial County, and they did a good job over there. So I feel comfortable recommending that we award with Vance Corporation. They did give us a list of projects. It's something that they do. They must be trying to reach out to this area. So we obviously working with them. We have inspection and testing and so forth that gets done. So we'll assure that's a good product that ends up in the field. With that, I'm looking for approval and award of the bid to Vance Corporation for the East Main Street even rehabilitation.
all righty. Okay, colleagues, that motion was made by Councilmember Carter, seconded by Mayor Marroquin. Please vote. And it is adopted 4-1 absence. And this will be adopting resolution number 24-03, resolution of the City Council of the City of El Centro awarding the bid and authorizing the execution of a contract for the East Main Street Evan Hewes Highway Rehabilitation Project. All righty,
Nice.
Mr. Campos?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members.
All righty, we look forward to your requests next meeting.
Fiscal does it.
Yes. All righty. Wow, members, and that concludes all the items on our agenda. Now we move into legislative action, and I see that we don't have anything to report out on. And we will now move into our task force reports and council member reports. So I am looking to
Sure.
Councilmember Cardenas Singh to lead us in that.
Well, just taking the opportunity to wish everyone a happy new year. And it's always a great time to reassess, calibrate, and set goals for 2024 on a personal note, right? And work-wise and with our families. So with that, because of the holidays, many of the meetings either were rescheduled or scheduled for further dates to ensure that everyone had that opportunity to enjoy the holidays and spend time with their families. I was able to attend a couple of meetings. Our ICTC meeting for December was scheduled a little earlier, so I had the opportunity to attend that. On December the 20th, had the opportunity to enjoy the great company of our seniors at our senior program, our Christmas program that we had, and great job in making sure that every individual felt special. And we had a wonderful meal, great entertainment, and many of us and as a community participated in the Adopt the Senior program. So that was a great event on December the 20th. One of my most favorite events of the entire year was on December the 21st, which was our Employee Service Award breakfast. And so that was a great event. And congratulations to every employee who met a milestone. But I have to say that Ms. Pat Ureña takes the cake as far as ensuring her commitment to the city of El Centro and to its residents. So that was great to celebrate her 40th year milestone. That was a great event. Had the opportunity to attend the Cal Cities Policy Committee meeting. It was an orientation that was provided to all of us who will now be serving on a committee. That took place on January 4th. Our downtown ad hoc committee will take place tomorrow. Our Friends of El Centro meeting will be taking place in March. And then just right before this meeting at 5:30, Council Member Ms. Sonia Carter and myself as ECRMC Board Trustees, we participated and attended our ECRMC Quality Assurance Committee meeting. And that is the end of my report, Madam Mayor.
All right. Councilmember Carter?
Well, happy New Year's, everybody. We're in 2024. How exciting. I just want to say that, our ride along, we didn't even get to talk about that the last time. I got to go out and ride along with Santa, and that was very interesting. Very nice. Very, very nice. And then we had the employee breakfast. I do want to piggyback that, what council member, I always want to say, call you by your first name, and I can't.
That's okay. That's okay.
Councilmember Cardenas, what she said about the employee breakfast, very, very nice. And to see Pat get awarded for 40 years and the expression on her face, like, I can give you 40 more. I mean, it was just like, wow, that was an honor. I really, really enjoyed just to see everybody that day and just to see the awards and how everybody was just really, really awarded in a nice way. And I did attend the Cal City, the Housing, Community, and Economic Development Public Safety meeting. That was very nice as well. And it was nice to see different people from different cities. This we did on Zoom. Our next one will be on Zoom, and then the one after that will be in person. So then we'll get to actually see everybody in person. But the information that we gathered, I'm still going through the slides. They sent us the slides that we went through. So every chance that I get, I'm still going through the slides because you learn a lot of information about what's going on throughout the entire cities, not just ours. And then I had the honor of going out with Adriana and Angel. We went out to visit the apartments. Oh man, that was amazing. I got to go out and see firsthand construction. We got to walk inside the building. We got to see which one are the 2 bedrooms, which one are the 3 bedrooms. We actually got to see how a handicap bathroom is being built from the bottom up. Mm-hmm. Wow. Very, very interesting. A lot of hands-on, a lot of things we got to see. I really thank you guys for that. And who was that with us? I'm sorry. It was another gentleman with us. Oh, Frank Soto. And thank you to him. He was very informative. He knew exactly what to point us to and what information to give us and how to guide us and lead us. So I thank them for that trip. Thank you guys.
So
And that
Councilmember
concludes.
Carter, I'm curious, which apartments are you referring to?
What did we go see?
Jacaranda.
The
Yes,
Jacaranda.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes,
All
they
righty.
took me on a tour.
Wow.
Yes. But I asked because I wanted to get to know different,
Mhm.
I want to get to know more and more. And this is the way you get to know. I told them I'm a
Mhm.
visual person.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go see. So
I
show
cruise
me.
by there quite often. I just cannot believe how quickly they've gone up.
Yes,
you know, so,
yes,
yeah.
yeah. And he did mention that they may be done sooner
Ahead of
than
schedule, huh?
yes, the schedule.
that's great.
plan. So
know.
very nice, very nice. Thank you guys.
Righty. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Happy New Year. I hope everybody enjoyed holidays with their family and, had the opportunity to set personal and professional priorities for the new year. It's amazing that we find ourselves back here in 2024. As far as meetings go, things have been a little slow because of the holidays, of course, but I had the opportunity to attend the employees recognition breakfast. That was a great turnout. Again, I have to echo my colleague's sentiments towards 40 years. Patarenia does a lot of work, and she's been part of the city for such a long time in so many different capacities, and she's excelled at every one. And she's a testament to the professionalism of our staff. And it's just wonderful that we were able to give her that type of recognition, because she's not one to seek recognition. I think we all know her, and she just likes what she does, and she demands a certain amount of professionalism from people around her, and because that's how she conducts herself every day. And it's wonderful to see somebody like that lead by example. So it was wonderful to honor her. And we had the Martin Luther King event at the courthouse steps. This was just on Monday and yesterday, and it was very well attended. It was we had some good speakers. I was joined there by our mayor, who did the introduction. It was nice to see so many people come out, at a iconic building in the city of El Centro in order to honor the legacy of such a historical figure. So that was something to see, and I look forward to continuing with the city meetings. I have the Cal Cities Public Safety Committee meeting on January 19th. So we already had to fill out a survey and have a fairly deep discussion amongst the committee members regarding how we were going to prioritize what we were going to be dealing with in terms of lobbying at a state effort. And I'll tell you right now that the number one priority that I put down there was reforming Prop 47. There is a current coalition of elected officials going from the city level all the way to the state level that are echoing the feelings of the population of California, which is sick and tired of seeing the downslide that we've experienced over the last couple of years with commercial crime, with drug crime, with the issues that Mr. Cosio addressed today. It's so fitting that he came here to give his public comment, because that is the current sentiment. In fact, it was the opening point of Mayor Todd Gloria from San Diego, specifically discussing the reformation steps that need to be done for Prop 47 in order to right the ship and correct some of the legal issues that have arisen from its passing. Clearly, it has not worked, and we need to do something to right the ship so we can live in a safer California. So that's something that we're dedicating ourselves to on the Public Safety Committee for Cal Cities, which I would add that was in support of Prop 47 when it was first drafted. but they have seen the error of their ways. And this is something that we're intimately discussing in order to reach out to the assembly members and the senators in order to make some lasting change for this state. So with that, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. So let's see. Well, going back to, Happy New Year, everyone. And going back to our events that happened prior to Christmas, I too was at the Adopt a Senior event with our council member Cardenas Singh. I just have to say the seniors come out in full force for those events. They really do enjoy those things. And I have to commend the staff at the Adult Center for the fabulous work they did in decorating the community center for them and, making it so festive. I really, I know that they truly appreciated it. I personally saw many people that I know and that go to a lot of the events that are held there. So kudos to all of the staff at the Adult Center. The Employee Service Award ceremony, I've known Pat for many years, aside from 40 years that she's dedicated to the city of El Centro, she too is also a member of different service clubs. And I know I personally served on a service club with her. And, I have to say that we braved the summers and we're out there selling fireworks. And boy, we had such a good time out there. I mean, even though it was really hot, but we made the best of it. And we did it because we love our community and it was service, to our community. I also have to mention that we had an ugly sweater contest. And Norma Valenzuela from the city clerk's office won by making, yes, I had to comment, she made an ugly sweater even uglier, but she got very creative with it. But I also have to mention Chief Bernal. Okay, it takes quite a man to wear a kitty cat sweater, so I just, he took second place for that one. And also, I'd like to thank all of the local businesses and city department heads and council members for the donations of all the fabulous gifts that we gave away that morning to all of the city staff. It was, wow, that we had 52 gifts to give out. And so I'm sure that the staff was very appreciative. And thank you to all of the donors for that. Let's see. And then the day after Christmas, we brought in a new employee who was formerly with Spectrum Advertising, and now he is with us. Emilio, who is hiding in the back room back here, is our new content creator. So thank you to Emilio for everything he does for us, for making us look good on camera. And so, and in pictures, because, some of us, like I speak for me personally, I'm not very photogenic, so he does a good job of that. Also, let's see, last week attended the State of the City address with our city manager, Mr. Cedric Cesena, and with our PIO, Mr. Mario Renteria. And so we went to support our neighbors, to the south and listen to their presentation of, their current status of the city. Let's see, and then as Member Tim Garcia mentioned, that we were both honored to speak at the Martin Luther King walk and the reenactment of his iconic speech at the courthouse steps yesterday. And so, there were so many local people, and not only were they elected officials, but also, very active members and advocates of our community that spoke. And wow, it was like, I went first, but it was, I'm glad I went first because I don't know how I would have topped many of the speeches that were given yesterday. So we have quite a few upcoming events. This coming Thursday, we will be coronating our Mardi Gras King and Queen, and I'd like to announce that we have selected Cher and Matt Cowie as the 2024 Mardi Gras King and Queen. The ceremony will be held here in our courtyard this coming Thursday, and that's January the 18th from 5 to 8 p.m. I hope to see all of you there because that's usually a very fun event. So let's see. what else do we have coming up? So, and then to follow that, the Mardi Gras Light and Street Parade and Street Fair will be held on February the 24th from 5 to 9 p.m. Always look forward to that event. It is so much fun. And it's just a lot of fun to throw the beads out and watch, everybody come in after them. So, so this year, as the mayor, I would like to make myself more accessible to the community. And so I am going to be starting Mondays with the mayor. Next Monday, January the 22nd at Sweet Nothings Bakery that is located at 115 South 6th Street in our downtown area. So I know that Councilmember Cardenas Singh and I have been working on revitalizing that downtown, and I think it's only fitting that we start there. And hopefully, we will have the community come out into an informal setting, share with me your concerns or your suggestions on how we can improve the quality of life in our community. So I will be doing this once a month, and we will be announcing that on all of our social media sites. So please stay tuned for our next Monday with the Mayor in February. And then we're also seeking the community's input on the Imperial Avenue Complete Streets Plan. We currently have social media posts out there to encourage our residents to participate in a survey on how we can improve walkability, transportation, and so on down Imperial Avenue, specifically north of Adams. Okay, so please visit our City of El Centro Facebook page and other social media sites to participate in the survey. All righty. And so if you would like more information about that, you can also call our Community Development Department at 337-4545. And I will end my presentation with that, and I'll hand it over to our city manager, Mr. Cedric Cesena.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have a whole lot more to add other than I missed out a good party, it sounds like, at our city event here, where we recognized all our city employees. But I do want to recognize everybody's hard work and dedication over the past several weeks, from parades to Christmas tree lightings to, actually responding to true emergencies and so on, and it continues. The city staff has been tremendous at creating all these special events for the community and supporting us through those. Additionally to the addition with Emilio, we've also added a utility field representative of Public Works, so the city family continues to grow. And I was also recently notified that I actually am picked to serve with Councilmember Carter at the League of California Cities, representing in the same committee that she will be working on with environmental quality, housing, community and economic development, as well as public safety. So, and that's the end of the report.
Alrighty. Okie dokie. Thank you, Mr. City Manager. And with that, that concludes our meeting. I think I'm going to set a record this year. It's just like, it is now 6:54 and we are now finished.
Hey.
Everybody have a
Good
good
job.
evening.